The planet was dark and silent. Strange blue plants glowed in the night. The air was cold, and the ground was soft like ash. Somewhere deep inside this alien jungle, Rena moved without sound. She was not like other beings. She looked human, but she wasn't. She was created in a lab built for one job: detect danger and remove it. Her most powerful gift? Her eyes. Whenever there was danger nearby, her eyes would glow bright blue, like a warning light, like a machine scanning the world. She had no emotions, no fear, no dreams, just rules, orders, and missions. Tonight was different. Her mission was simple: scan the jungle, report any threats, and return to base. Rena moved carefully. Her steps made no noise. Her silver armor reflected no light. In her hand was a small scanning device. It beeped softly, showing no signs of life. But then, something changed. A signal interruption. Her scanner blinked. Error. Unknown life form detected. Rena froze. She blinked once. Her eyes glowed blue. A threat was near. She turned toward the signal. Slowly she walked toward the trees. Her body ready, her mind calm. She had done this hundreds of times. But what she found this time was not like anything before. In a small clearing, she saw a man. A human. He was lying on the ground, breathing hard. His shirt was torn, and blood ran down his arm. He held a metal stick, maybe a weapon, but he was too weak to use it. Rena had only seen humans in records. Earth was far away, and humans were not welcome in this part of the galaxy. She stepped closer. Her scanner read: species, human, status, injured, threat level, low. And then, something strange happened. Her eyes did not glow. No blue light. No warning. Her heart, usually steady like a machine, began to beat faster. What is this? She whispered. She had never felt this before. The human looked up. His eyes met hers. He looked scared, but also surprised. Who are you? He asked. His voice weak. Rena didn't answer. She stared at him. Her systems were confused. Why wasn't her warning system working? She stepped closer. You're not from here, the man said. You're one of them, right? The scouts? Yes. She said quietly. Are you going to kill me? Rena didn't speak. She remembered her order. Eliminate all unknown life forms. But he didn't feel like a threat. She looked into his eyes. They were tired, afraid, but not dangerous. I don't know, she replied. In her mind, alarms started to ring. Warning, emotional spike detected. Logic system conflict. Do you wish to reboot? Her fingers shook slightly. Her face stayed calm, but inside she felt something new. She sat down a few feet away from the man. The jungle around them stayed quiet. I'm Daniel, the man said. I'm Rena. They didn't talk for a while. Daniel coughed. He tried to sit up. Rena didn't help him, but she didn't stop him either. Why are you here? She asked. I crashed. My ship was hit near the orbit. I landed here alone, he said. I've been hiding for 2 days. Rena nodded slowly. Her scanner confirmed the crash 2 days ago. You're lucky, she said. The Empire doesn't allow humans here. I know, he said. Are you going to report me? She didn't answer. She looked up at the stars. The blue light from the jungle flowers reflected on her face. Something inside her chest felt warm, confusing, dangerous. System check. Emotional interference detected. Mission risk. Then, suddenly a soft rustling in the bushes. Rena stood up fast. Her hand moved to her side weapon. Her eyes flickered blue for a moment, but then turned normal again. She scanned the area. Small animal, she said. Daniel looked at her. Your eyes, they change? They glow blue when danger is near. She said, but they didn't glow when you saw me, he said. No, Rena said. They didn't. She looked at him again, and in that moment, She understood something was changing inside her. As the wind moved through the trees and the stars watched silently from above, Rena heard a voice in her mind, not a system message, not a command, but a memory, faint, soft, a woman's voice. Rena, if you ever feel afraid, it means you're becoming real. Rena closed her eyes. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel like a machine. She felt human. It began with a dream. Rena had never dreamed before. Machines do not sleep. Machines do not imagine. But now, inside the dark cave where she and Daniel were hiding, her mind showed her something strange. She saw a blue ocean, soft waves, a child laughing, a warm hand touching her cheek. Then a flash of fire. A scream. She woke up fast, her eyes wide, but this time, her eyes weren't glowing. They were normal. Daniel was sitting near the cave wall, holding his wounded arm. He looked tired but alive. You were talking in your sleep, he said quietly. I don't sleep, Rena replied. Well, he said with a tired smile, you just did. She looked at him carefully. He wasn't afraid of her anymore. That was new too. Outside, the wind howled. The jungle was still dangerous. Drone patrols flew overhead, searching for life. Inside the cave, Rena's systems kept showing errors. Memory leak detected. Unauthorized emotions detected. Eyes, function normal, glow response disabled. She touched her face. Her skin was cold, but her heart, it was warm. Like something had been unlocked inside her. Daniel broke the silence. Where are you from? I was created in the labs of Sector 7, she said. I'm a scout, built to detect threats. Built? He asked. Not born? No, she replied. My thoughts were programmed. My memories were given. And now, she paused. Now I feel like some of those memories are not mine. Daniel leaned back, eyes heavy. Maybe they are. Rena looked at him, confused. What do you mean? He shrugged. What if the people who made you took something from someone else? Memories, DNA, pieces of a real person. She didn't answer. She didn't know how to answer. Suddenly, her communication link blinked. Command, report your location. Status, human activity detected in your zone. Follow protocol. Terminate or alert. Rena stared at the screen on her wrist. Her hand moved, but she paused. Her eyes stayed still. No blue light. She turned the link off. Daniel noticed. Was that your command center? Yes. And they wanted a report. And did you give one? No. Daniel looked at her with serious eyes. Why? I don't know, she whispered. But deep down she did. She didn't want to lose him. Outside, a noise echoed. A soft buzzing. Something was flying toward them. Rena stood. Her ears picked up a familiar sound. Drone, she said. How close? Daniel asked. Very close. They moved deeper into the cave. Rena used her scanner to mask their heat signals. Her movements were fast, smooth, perfect. But her heart was beating again. Not from fear, from something else. A feeling she didn't have a name for. The drone passed over the cave. It stopped briefly, scanning the area. A red light swept across the rocks. Daniel held his breath. Rena did too. Her hand slowly reached toward Daniel's. She didn't know why. But when their fingers touched, something sparked. Her eyes flickered blue. Then white. Then back to normal. The drone turned and flew away. They waited in silence for a long minute. Then Daniel spoke. Softly, I don't think you're just a machine anymore. Rena looked at her hand. It was still warm from his touch. I don't think so either, she said. In the Empire's control room, a voice spoke. Scout Rena has not checked in. Possible malfunction. Send a retrieval team. Far away in space, a ship changed course. Heading toward her. Back in the cave, Rena looked up at the stars again. They will come for me, she said. Daniel nodded. Then we need to move before they find us. Why are you helping me? She asked, because you helped me first. She looked at him with soft, confused eyes. Machines understand logic. But this was not logic, it was trust, it was something more. It didn't begin with footsteps, it began with a feeling. Rena's eyes stayed normal, but something inside her screamed, "Danger is coming." She stood at the cave's edge, staring into the darkness. The wind had changed. The birds had stopped singing. The jungle was too quiet. "They're here," she whispered. Daniel looked up. "How do you know?" She turned toward him. "I don't know how. I just feel it." A second later, her scanner blinked red. "Retrieval unit, 2 minutes away. Target, Scout Rena, status, defective." She grabbed Daniel's arm. "We need to run." "But where?" "Anywhere but here." They rushed into the jungle. The night was thick. Leaves scratched their faces. Roots grabbed at their feet. Rena moved fast, Daniel behind her, limping but keeping up. Overhead, red lights flashed through the trees. Search drones. They were scanning for her. Not just the human anymore, they were here to take her back. Rena's mind was racing. She had never been afraid before. But now, fear sat heavy in her chest, not for herself. For Daniel. Her eyes remained still, no blue, no glow. Why aren't they glowing? She thought that the danger was real. But maybe her system didn't see it as a threat anymore. Maybe her emotions were taking over. Behind them, a sharp sound cracked through the air, a plasma shot. A tree exploded nearby. Bark flew like knives. Daniel fell, crying out in pain. Rena turned fast, pulling him up. "Keep moving," she said. "They won't stop." They reached a small hill covered in thick vines. Rena scanned it. "Underground tunnel," she said. "Old mining shaft. We can hide there." They slid under the vines, falling into the dark pit below. Dust filled the air. The ground shook from above as footsteps passed. Daniel coughed. "They're not just after me, are they?" "No," Rena said. "They're after me too. Why?" "I broke a rule," she said softly. "I chose not to follow an order." Inside the tunnel, the air was cold. The walls were metal and stone. Lights flickered above, some still worked after years. As they walked deeper, Daniel looked at her. "You were built to obey." "But you didn't," Rena nodded. "Why?" he asked. "I don't know. I saw you, and something changed." They found a small control room, abandoned, dusty, but safe for now. Daniel sat down, breathing hard. Rena stood at the door, listening. In the silence, she heard her own heartbeat. Soft, fast, real. Her memory flashed again, but this time, it wasn't from the Empire. It was a vision. A young girl, smiling, standing near a lake. A man calling her name, Rena. She shook her head. "That memory isn't mine, or was it?" Suddenly, a sharp voice echoed through the tunnel, a speaker left behind in the wall. "Scout Rena, you are defective. You will be retrieved. Do not resist." She stared at the speaker. Her jaw clenched. "I'm not your machine anymore," she whispered. Daniel stood beside her. "So what now?" he asked. "They'll keep coming," she said. "We need to reach the old tower. It's still active. From there, I can send a false signal, trick them." Daniel smiled. "You really are changing." She looked at him. "I hope I'm becoming something better." Outside, the footsteps returned. Louder this time. The chase wasn't over. It was just beginning. Asterisk, a soft, quick sound that escaped her lips before she could stop it. It wasn't loud. It wasn't planned. Daniel had tripped over a root, again, and landed in a patch of glowing moss. His hair stood up from static. Rena covered her mouth. "Surprised?" "I laughed," she said, like she had just broken something. Daniel sat up and grinned. "Yeah, that's what humans do sometimes." She looked away, confused. "I'm not supposed to." The forest was silent again. They were far from the tunnel now, moving through an old path humans once used, long ago during mining work. The jungle had taken it back: green vines, fallen tech, rusted metal signs with strange earth letters. And Rena? She felt like she was walking through a place that knew her, even though she had never been here before. They found shelter under a broken transport truck, half sunk in mud. While Daniel rested, Rena touched the metal walls inside Dot, and then it happened. Again Dot, a memory not her own. She saw a woman, dark hair, kind eyes, laughing and calling her name. Rena, come help me with this. The memory ended as quickly as it came. She pulled her hand back, breathing hard. Another vision? Daniel asked. She nodded. That woman, she knew me, but I've never met her. Daniel sat up. I think she's part of you. Rena sat beside him, her voice quiet. I wasn't supposed to feel. I wasn't supposed to remember anything from before. Before what? He asked. Before I was built. Daniel looked into her eyes. What if you weren't just built? What if you were taken? The idea hit her like a wave. Pieces of her weren't artificial. She had always known that, deep inside. Her body was enhanced, yes, but her mind? Her soul? Maybe it came from someone else. Daniel pulled something from his jacket. A small, broken screen device. He wiped the dust from it and pressed a few buttons. Blue light flickered. This was found near my crash site, he said. I didn't understand it before, but look. The screen showed a file. Project Echo R, subject DNA origin, human, female. Earth ID 729-12. Ryder. Rena froze. Her name. Her real name, not a code, not a label, a human name. You were human, Daniel whispered. Or at least part of you was. They didn't create you, they rebuilt you. The wind outside picked up. Rena stepped out, eyes to the stars. Everything she believed was breaking apart. She wasn't just changing. She was remembering who she used to be, and that terrified her more than anything. Far above them, on a ship in orbit, a voice echoed in static. Subject R located. Signal confirmed. Send final extraction team. Use force if necessary. Do not let the human interfere. Back on the planet, Rena took Daniel's hand. I don't want to go back, he nodded. Then we keep running. No, she said. We stop running. We start fighting. Daniel raised an eyebrow. You sure? Her eyes glowed for a second, not blue, not red, but soft gold. I think I'm finally becoming me. She saw her own face. But it wasn't her. The woman on the screen looked just like Rena, but older, softer, and fully human. She was crying. I didn't give permission. The woman whispered in the old recording. You stole her from me. You took my daughter and made her into a weapon. The screen froze. Rena stepped back, her breath caught in her throat. I'm someone's daughter, she whispered. Daniel looked at her with wide eyes. That woman, she was your mother. Rena said nothing. Her hands trembled. Her programming, her purpose, her training, none of it could explain this feeling. For the first time in her life, she felt grief, and behind it, anger. They had reached an old empire, lab buried deep in the jungle, forgotten by time. Rena had brought Daniel here hoping for answers. She found more than that. She found the truth. The logs, still running on backup power, showed it all. She wasn't just a machine. She was stolen, taken as a child during a war. Experimented on, modified, reprogrammed. Her memories were locked away. Her emotions crushed. All to turn her into the perfect scout. Project Rena, the final file read. Reclaimed intelligence for neural assimilation, subject shows high. Emotional resistance. Full wipe recommended. She closed the file. Her face was blank, but inside, a storm was growing. I was never broken, she said. They just didn't want me to feel. Outside the lab, metal footsteps landed on them. Dirt, heavy, sharp. The extraction team had arrived. 3 armored scouts. Built like her, eyes glowing blue. "Scout Unit Rena, surrender. You are property of the Empire." Rena stepped out of the lab slowly, calm and unafraid. "I'm not yours anymore," she said. Disobedience confirmed. Activating betrayal. Protocol. The first scout charged. Rena moved faster. Their weapons clashed metal against metal. Sparks flew. Daniel shouted from behind the wreckage, trying to find cover. Rena's training kicked in. But this time, she wasn't following orders. She was fighting for herself. One scout tried to shoot Daniel. Rena blocked the shot, spinning and knocking him down. She looked back at Daniel, his arm bleeding again, but alive. Something inside her snapped. Her eyes glowed red for the first time ever. Her voice was low and clear. "You won't hurt him." In less than a minute, it was over. All 3 enemy scouts lay still. Rena stood over them, breathing hard, her armor scratched, but her body still strong. Daniel approached, limping. "You saved me again." She looked down at her hands. "I didn't save you. I saved myself." In the distance, smoke rose from the burning wreckage of the Empire shuttle. Daniel looked toward the mountains. "The old relay station's just beyond that ridge. We can send a message to Earth." Rena nodded, then looked back at the lab behind her. "I came here for answers," she said. "Now I know who I was." She turned to Daniel. "Now I'll decide who I want to be." Far above the planet, in the Empire's high command, a cold voice whispered, "She has fully disconnected. She is no longer ours. Initiate the final option. Activate the wipe signal." Back on the ground, Rena felt a strange pulse in her head. A signal, soft but growing, something meant to erase her, and she smiled. Let them try. She stood inside her own mind, not the jungle, not the lab. Just white space, silent, empty. And in front of her was herself. Another Rena, younger, human, no armor, no weapons, just soft eyes and fear. "Are you me?" the human Rena asked. The scout Rena didn't answer. She looked at her own hands, digital lines crawling up her arms like vines. Her body flickered. Something was shutting down. Wipe signal active. Memories will be erased. Emotion. System collapsing. But the human version stepped forward. "Don't let them take me again," she whispered. Outside her mind in the real world, Daniel held Rena's body in his arms. She wasn't breathing. Her eyes were closed. The Empire's signal tower in the distance glowed red. It had already sent the kill code. "No," Daniel said. "Don't you dare shut down on me now." He touched her face. "Come back, Rena. Come back." Inside her mind, the scout Rena reached for her human self. Their hands touched. A heartbeat pulsed between them. One heartbeat. Suddenly, a flood of images hit her. A birthday cake. A little dog. Rain on glass. Laughter. Music. A mother's hug. A father's voice. She dropped to her knees. "I remember," she whispered. The vines stopped crawling. The white space cracked open like glass. Light poured in. In the jungle, Rena's eyes snapped open. Not blue. Not red. Not gold. All of them at once. Daniel gasped. "Rena?" She stood slowly, calm, alive. "No more running," she said. "No more hiding." She raised her hand toward the sky, her body glowing softly. The signal from the Empire's tower tried to reach her again. This time, it didn't erase her. It awakened her. New protocol detected. Identity override successful. Name, Rena Ilara Wynn. Status, fully awake. She turned to Daniel. "Let's finish this." They began walking toward the signal tower in the hills, the Empire's final control point on the planet. Rena's steps were quiet, but strong. Not like a machine, not like a weapon. Like a human who chose to fight back. Far above, the Empire's high command stared at the blank screen. She resisted the wipe. One of them whispered, "That's impossible." "No," the commander said darkly. "It means she's human again." The rain was falling upward. Rena noticed it first. The drops hovered, reversed, and began floating into the sky like silver sparks. She stood still on the ridge, the signal tower glowing red ahead. Wind circled her like a storm that had forgotten its direction. The Empire's last defense, the signal corps, was awake. Gravity was breaking. Time was slowing. Inside that tower was the one thing that could stop all of this or erase her forever. Daniel stepped beside her, eyes wide. "This place feels wrong," Rena nodded. "They're rewriting the world around us to trap me or erase me from it." But she wasn't the same scout anymore. Her armor no longer looked like the Empire's dot. It had changed, part metal, part organic. The lines were softer. Her body hummed with warmth. That she wasn't a machine, not anymore. She was something new. Something between what she was and who she had always been. As they moved toward the tower, the air shimmered. Voices floated through the mist, not real, but fragments from her lost life. "Come home, Rena. You're not ready. Obey. Forget. Obey." Rena stopped, closed her eyes, and whispered, "I remember everything now. You can't make me forget again." Her eyes began to glow. Not blue, not red, not gold. A soft white like starlight before dawn. At the tower gates, a final enemy stood in their path. Another scout. She looked just like Rena once did, cold, silent, deadly. Her blue eyes glowed like ice. "You are defective," the scout said. Rena didn't lift her weapon. She stepped forward slowly. "I am free." The enemy raised her gun fast, but Rena was faster. One move, one pulse of energy from her hand. The gun shattered. The enemy fell to her knees, shaking. "I don't want to obey anymore," she whispered. Rena nodded, "Then remember who you were," and left her behind. Inside the tower, alarms blared. The final countdown had begun. Memory core, initiating final purge. Subject Rena. Target locked. Execute. Rena and Daniel reached the heart of the machine, a giant glowing orb, filled with data, code, and stolen lives. "This is it," Daniel said. Rena placed her hand on the core. It burned. It pushed back, but she didn't move. She spoke softly, not to the Empire, but to herself. "They made me to sense danger, but I learned what danger really is. It's not a weapon, it's not war, it's losing your name, your voice, your choice. I choose to live." The orb pulsed once, twice, and then shattered. Light exploded in every direction. Not fire. Memories of all the stolen children, all the erased lives, all the broken minds. Released. The tower collapsed behind them as they ran. Fire lighting up the jungle. At the edge of the cliff, Daniel grabbed Rena's hand. She turned to him. "I don't know what I am now," she said. He smiled. "You're Rena. That's enough." She looked at the stars. For once, they looked close. Her eyes glowed a soft white gold. Peaceful. Not because of danger, not because of fear, because she was finally whole.